Welcome back. In my last video, excuse me, in my last video, I went over an issue I was having with my app crashing at start. Oh, pardon me. So for some context, I finally have my first app up on the App Store, on the Google Play Store, and every time, every time the app starts, it crashes. I don't know why. So I downloaded it from the Play Store, tested it on my phone, and it kept crashing, right? Okay, so went back to my computer, went into Android Studio, booted everything up, and deployed it to my virtual device, and it started crashing again. I couldn't figure out what the issue was, so I did some research, and as it turns out, it has something to do with a conflict between the application ID and the name of the package. Now, what does all this mean? Well, I will show you right now. So in the Android manifest, the all of the class names all were in red for some inexplicable reason. And what I figured out was the reason that I ran into this issue was the package name was different from the application ID. So if you go into your Gradle scripts and you open up the build.gradle, the app module, you'll see that you have your application ID, right? So mine was set to com.codingfanatic.travel. However, when I created this during the process of generating the APK so that I could upload it to the Play Store in the first place. So the reason why I used this name was, well, my app had the ID of com.example.travel, and that was my original setting. That was like when I first ever made the app, that was the setting that I had. And so when I generated the APK, I was warned in the wizard that, hey, you can't use com.example.app name, whatever, for your application ID. So you have to create a new one right now. So of course I added Coding Fanatic. Same as if you go through your if you look at your file manager on your Android phone and you look through some of your in your Android folder, you'll see like the names of your apps. You'll see folders for each, like com.facebook.app or com.messenger or whatever. So I said, all right, I'm gonna name mine com.codingfanatic.travel, and that fixed the issue and allowed me to generate the APK in the first place. However, because of the application ID, the conflict between the application ID and the actual name of the project, it created an issue and made the app crash on start. So I looked into it, and all the research and all the links, everything I found, all pointed to the same direction. They all said you need to update the activity name in your Android manifest. So here I am in Android manifest, and I'm looking at the name of these activities, and everything is in red for some reason. Now I've since fixed the issue, but I'm going to walk you through how I did it. So main activity was in red, list addresses red, everything. All the activity names were all in red, if you remember from the last video. If not, go check it out right now. So I'm sitting here wondering, what the heck am I supposed to do? Because I have no idea on how to fix this. I tried. The names of the applications are fine. Why am I getting errors for all of these? Perfect example. Unresolved class search results, right? Hit Control F1 and it would say validate resource references inside Android XML files. So I'm sitting here wondering, well, why is this in red? Now, the reason it did it just now is because the name of the activity doesn't match the name of the class search results. So when I add if you add like any characters that throw it off, then that's where it goes wrong. So here I am stressing out, wondering how to fix it. So I did some research, and it turns out that the way to prevent this issue from happening, or the way to fix this issue, is to rename your project, refactor and rename your project directory. I had no idea this was an option in Android Studio. I always thought that once you start a new project, that once you get to, let me show you. When you get to this screen here where it says package name, once you set this name and hit finish, I thought that was permanent and you can't go in, you can't rename anything. That would be the end of it. And as it turns out, that is not the case. So I'm going to show you how exactly to go about fixing this issue if you run into the same issue as I have. So firstly, let me return everything to its original setting. When you look over on the left-hand side in your project directory, if you go to Java, close this out, you'll see all these different folders. You have com example, travel, all that, right? Android test, and so on. The first thing you do is to click on the options menu here, and where it says flatten packages, you want to uncheck that. So by unchecking flatten packages, you'll see that all of the folders are now organized based on Android test, and your actual project files that you worked with. This is what we want. So if you click on the arrow to show you all the files in the directory, you'll see the folder example. So I want to rename this specific part to Coding Fanatic so that it matches with the application ID that I have here. Now, if you said abc.123.wxyz, then you would follow the same exact steps for the next part. So I want to rename example to Coding Fanatic. So I right click this folder, example, and I'm going to head down to where it says refactor. And then from here, go to rename. Right now, it tells you once you open it that it will warn you about all the directories that are affected. And you have two choices. You can either rename the directory itself, so the file directory, or you can rename the package. And by renaming the package, now you can update it to match the settings in your app module. So I click rename package, and you'll see it says example here. So rename com.example, and its usage is 2. Now whatever I rename this to will be com dot what I type in here. So we're going to say Coding Fanatic. Okay. So once I hit this, you can click preview to see what it'll look like, but you can just go straight to refactor. All right, so down here, the refactoring preview will show you all the uses that you have and how many of them you have. So how many packages rely on com.example.travel. And you can just go straight to do refactor. Click do refactor. And that's it. That's about it. Now, I'll always go and change the names of these activities so that it just says dot, because it saves a lot of time. You don't need the entire package name, dot activity or class name. You can just remove all this and reduce it like so. Okay, so we've got 3 activities: our main activity, and then we've got the list addresses activity, parent activity name, main activity, and then the search results, parent activity name, main activity. You'll also notice that, save, in each of the classes, now the package name has been updated to say com.codingfanatic.travel. Okay, so that should do it here. Now we're just going to build the project to make sure that we have everything is set properly. All right, the Gradle build is finished, and now we deploy it to unknown device. I don't know why it says that. Okay, give me 1 second here to select the right device. All right, stop and hit play. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump ahead here, or I don't even need to. Wow, 852 milliseconds. That's record time for me. All right, and you'll see here the app is now up, that has been deployed to my virtual device. I can view the list of the addresses just as before, and I can search the list the same as before. Everything is working as expected. Okay, so we hit Ohio 43071, enter. We get the corresponding address. If I type some foolishness, it'll say no results found. Okay, we can delete everything here, and it'll work. And once again, Boston, Mass. 02134, and hit enter. Everything works as expected. No crashing. No more crashing. Everything works the way it's supposed to. So that's about it. That's how I found a fix for this issue and how I was able to resolve it. And the funny thing was, I thought it would be something so much bigger than this. I really did, but well, I got everything to work as expected. All I had to do was rename the package name. So my advice to you would be that whenever you're making an application, once you start and put a stop to this, once you come up here and you start a new project, whatever name you want your app to have or whatever your company name is, always use this naming convention of com.your company or organization name dot name of your app. That's what I would suggest. Do it from the beginning. Granted, I didn't know that I was going to take this project this far, but now I know how to do it moving forward and how to set up my apps in the future whenever I create a new application. So there you go. This is the strategy I would recommend. So when you create your new project, your company or organization name of your app. And of course, you name the application whatever you want it to name. So name of your app. And that's it. So that pretty much sums it up. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And join the mailing list on codingfanatic.com so you can get updates like these. You'll be the first to get updates like these, as well as career advice articles and different Android tutorials and more. I noticed that people seem to like that video I made about ultimatums, the employee tips. So there will be more of those. I got plenty of those in the pipeline. So trust me, I got a lot more of those coming out soon. So, but in the meantime, going to focus on working on the back end, building a back end for this app and making it more robust. I feel like there's still a lot more I can do to support it. So, it's funny because I have a lot of ideas for apps, but maybe for the time being, I'll stick with this one. And as I work on it, I'll try to make it as technical, as robust as I can and make it as cool as I can. And then once I feel like I'm done, then I'll move on to another one. But for the time being, this is what you'll be seeing me work on this channel. So thanks again for tuning in. This is your host, Richard Clark, signing out, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.